Well, today we're asking the question that I frankly think all Americans should be asking. Are we taking care of our veterans, but also are we taking care of the freedoms that our military members have fought and died for? Concerned Veterans for America is an organization that is out there making sure that our leaders in Washington, D.C. are honoring our veterans' vision for the direction of this country. Darin Selnick is a U.S. Air Force veteran and an advisor on the VA, and he is the spokesperson for Concerned Veterans for America. Darin, welcome to Smart Life with Dr. Gina. It's good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
What is your greatest concern right now regarding our veterans, and especially with relation to how we're taking care of them as they age?
Well, my greatest concern right now is we're getting what a military term we like to use called friendly fire from the VA. And literally, due to lack of proper care from the VA, we have veterans that are dying. And when I talk about that, there's a CNN story done a few months ago, and I've been monitoring this, and I've been talking to whistleblowers. But they documented 82 veterans that are either dead or dying or seriously ill because of poor care from the VA.
This is unthinkable.
It
unthinkable that that would happen in this country. I just, in my wildest dreams, I can't imagine how these travesties happen, and there's not just, I don't know, people marching in the streets over this.
Well, that's what we're doing. I mean, we have a grassroots network across the country. We have a Facebook page, and we're marching on the Hill next week to get some VA accountability. But, you know, people ask me, why do you get involved? This is why I get involved. I can't watch my fellow veterans literally being killed off by the VA incompetence. It didn't used to happen this way. It doesn't have to be this way. And there's lots of good staff at the VA who don't want it to happen this way.
Sure. You have an inside perspective because you used to work in a VA hospital, and you made this transition to try and basically hold them accountable. Why would you make that transition?
Well, I served in the Bush administration as special assistant to 3 secretaries. And so I worked across the board, both with on the claims side and the hospital side, and we used to hold people accountable. And after I left the government service in 2009, I watched things slowly deteriorate over a couple of years, people resigning because of the way things were going. But finally, things got so bad, I determined I had to get back in the fray because I just couldn't let this happen anymore.
Sure. And so are things improving? I mean, you've been around 2 years now. Are you starting to see that you're chipping away at the problems?
Well, what we've seen is the VA do what the VA typically does, is that circle the wagons up. So I've seen the VA, rather than have accountability or transparency, not respond back to the Congress. 111 unresponded Congress. We have whistleblowers coming out.
Wait, 111 hospitals haven't responded to?
The VA has 111 requests from Congress on these issues with claims and the hospitals. They've not responded to any of them.
Not responded to one?
Unheard of. And when I was the VA, if you didn't respond to Congress, you got fired.
Yeah.
Nobody gets fired here. And so we're pushing legislation to start the process of reform and fixing, and that is these career bureaucrats, anyone who, especially the career bureaucrats, the senior executives who lead these efforts, if they can't do a good job, they need to be fired. Right now, they pretty much can't. So the legislation is to have the ability to actually fire people for poor performance, which everyone else out there who's not a government employee gets fired for bad performance.
Right. Now, there's a bill about this, and y'all are supporting it. Tell me about that.
Yes, it's H.R. 4031, the VA Management Accountability Act. It's the first step in reforming the VA. But when they asked me, they said, hey, what's the one thing we can do to start the ball rolling and have the biggest impact? All the senior executives of 400 control what 300,000 other employees do. If you get to them, if you put the fear of God of them in terms of they can actually get fired for doing a bad job, that will start the process of changing the culture.
So can your average citizen take part in this? I mean, it would seem to me like if there was enough outrage and enough pressure put on VA that they wouldn't be able to hold up their wagon circle.
You're absolutely right, and we saw that with the military pension cuts, where the average citizen did rise up, and within 2 or 3 months, Congress reversed that. And that's why we have, you can go to our website, cv4a.org, and you can join a strike team. We will teach you, educate you. We have grassroots around the country, so we are building a whole grassroots team. We have people training you. We have that expertise, and together, which is why we got about 65 of our top volunteers coming to Capitol Hill to talk to senators and congressmen next week. Yeah, you can be part of the team. We'll teach you what to do. We only ask a couple hours a month, but those couple hours can make a big difference for the veterans and for the military who serves this country.
That's a great way to. I love that you worded it. It's only a couple of hours a month because I think people want to know. Everybody's so busy these days, but this is really an important thing and a great way to really pay back your respects for what our veterans have done for us. Down the road, do you see things beginning to go in the right direction? I mean, it seems like public opinion has really rallied on this topic, at least maybe around the pension issue. I think I've seen it more recently. But then it seems like, to me anyway, it seems like the administration is even somewhat more detached. Like there's no problem taking multi-million-dollar vacations, but we're going to cut veterans' benefits. How do veterans feel about that, and what do you foresee long-term needs to change?
Well, veterans are very upset, and there's an awakening that's happening. It was something that people didn't pay attention. They just believed what the VA said. The VA, unfortunately, there's been a pattern lately in the government of not telling the truth. The VA has not been telling the truth. Now that they've been caught, we have investigative reporters. So there's an awakening, and we go around the country. We do forums, defender reform forums, and we're hearing from the grassroots around the country. People are awakening. They're talking to the congressmen. And for the current bill, we actually are now up to 46 co-sponsors, and the Speaker of the House has come on board as well. So we're a non-political, non-partisan organization, but everyone knows if the Speaker of the House doesn't come on your bill's not going to pass. So
exactly.
We're very excited about that.
Oh, that is exciting. So next week, you plan to approach the leaders, basically, in the country. What are you going to say to them?
Well, we have our talking points, and we're basically going to lay out the facts for them. And we say, if you really support the veterans, and every military person becomes a veteran.
Right.
If you really support the veterans, the 21 million veterans, then you've got to have a VA that is accountable, that actually does a good job. You can't have claims waiting a year. You can't have veterans dying because they're not getting their exams. You can't have medical records being deleted.
Yeah.
You need good care. You need the benefits promised in a timely manner.
You'd think they'd have the best care.
You'd
think they'd have the best care.
You would think.
I spoke last week with a sculptor who wants to do a statue in commemoration of Benghazi and those fallen there. And he uses veterans with PTSD and teaches them how to sculpt because it's something they can handle well, and they get to be part of that. And then he said to me, I said, oh, that's so cool the way you do that, the way you use veterans with PTSD. And you know what he said? He said, all veterans who've seen combat have PTSD. And I guess I never realized, yes, our spending on our veterans for military is expensive, but I guess I didn't realize that anyone that's seen combat is going to have some fallout from that. And you think with a background in psychology that I would have realized that when he said it, it clicked. But I think before that I thought, oh, it's probably a certain percentage, a small percentage of those who've seen combat. The other thing that I keep seeing and keep coming across is how our military suicides are higher than ever. Do you believe, 22 a day, thank you. And do you believe that fixing our problems with the VA would help them feel more appreciated and maybe even result in less trauma after combat and also in less suicides ultimately?
Absolutely. The common way of dealing with PTSD right now from the VA is just drug people up. And I have a lot of friends who are military veterans or combat veterans, and they don't even want to go to the hospital because they don't feel so disrespected because the VA has always had a customer service issue because they have not held accountable, but it's gotten worse. And so they think that at least they should get respect. And they're not getting respect, and they're treated as just another number, and so they don't want to go to the VA. They don't want to go there anymore, and so an already injured psyche becomes even worse. And if they had a welcoming environment, it's like when I took my wife to the military hospital the other day. We were not sure about it because we hadn't been to a military hospital in a long time, but their family there. The VA should be treating you like family, and should be treating you well, and that would do a lot for our injured men and women who are coming back.
I really think so too. Well, it's exciting things that you're doing, and I thank you so much for being on the show. Tell everybody again how they can get involved, how they can reach you. You've got a minute. Take all your time you need.
Well, go to our website, go to our Facebook. It's concernedveteransforamerica.org or CV4 as in the number A. We have blogs. We have all the information you need to learn about what the issues are. We have a VA accountability website, talks about the problems, the solution, and taking action. You can become part of a team. We know
2 hours a month. 2
hours a month, be part of a team. By yourself, you can't do anything.
I'm feeling like a salesman right now.
You're part of the team.
I just really want people to do this.
You don't have to be a veteran. Anyone who supports military, anyone who supports
Bring your kids?
Bring your kids. We're kids friendly. But we will train you. We will get you on board. We'll give you the tools that you need to do, and then you can make a difference.
Awesome.
And we need you to make a difference.
I love it. Darin, thank you so much for
Thanks
being
for
on Smart Life with us today. And we are going to continue to keep these issues before you, especially in light of everything that happened with Benghazi. I'm going to commit that I am not going to let this go. And we are going to keep on this topic. So thank you again for being on with us. And a special thank you to our military veterans watching today, and to those, frankly, who are the wives who were at home, or the moms who let their family members go, and also to those who do such a great job of supporting our military.